When you're completely finished with your terrain build, you've got all your models in, you've got your grass painted, your rocks in, your trees, all your buildings, you like the way you're playing through when you do your testing, it's time to create a build. And a build is a, uh, a file that can be run outside of Unity. And to do this, it's actually pretty easy. Um, you can, finish making any minor changes that you may have. For example, if you wanted to adjust your lighting one last time or anything like that, feel free to do that. But you want to be completely finished. First thing you want to do is make sure you save your scene, so that's important. And then what we're going to do is go up here and say File, Build Settings, right up here. And we want to make sure that the correct scene is saved in here. So you can see right now this is the sample scene, whereas my scene is called terrain, right? So I'm going to actually delete this one. I'll just say delete and on the keyboard, just right underneath the insert key. And then I'll just say add open scenes, and that brings that terrain right in there. So it's very important that the scene that you're working on is the one that is in the scenes in the build, right? For this class, we're just going to worry about creating a Windows player. And so we're just going to make sure we're doing this, not anything like this. We'll just go right up into here. Windows target platform here, and we want to make sure that the times 64-bit, right? We want the 64-bit there. We don't need to make development builds or anything like that. Just these little default settings. And once you've got that, you're going to go ahead and say build. Now, the key thing here that we want to make sure that we're doing is that we don't put our build in our Unity folder. So I'm going to go up a level, right? And you notice that's where, like my Mudbox file, my Maya file, other different things that I have in here. There's my Unity project. I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to just call this builds, right, like that. And then it's inside that I'll just say select the folder, and it's going to create my builds in there. All right, so you'll see now it's going to go through and do this calculation. May take a little bit. So I'm just going to go ahead and pause here for a second, and then when it's done, I'll show you what it looks like. All right, great. So that's done now. And if we pull over the folder that it saved it in, you'll notice that in the builds folder, it's created quite a bit here. We've got a data folder. We've got sort of a code folder here, the exe file. That's what we're going to use to play the game. And some other little things here. Very, very important thing is you have to turn in all of these things. You have to submit all of these types of things for the game to run. You can't just give me this. You can see that that's a very small file. The data file contains really a lot of the stuff. That's where all your trees and all that kind of stuff is. So let me go ahead and close this, and I'll minimize my my Unity here, and we'll minimize this, and we'll go ahead and play this and see what it gives us. And it gives us an option. I'm going to go ahead and just leave the settings their default. It brings up the Unity game, and you can see, ta-da, there I am, and I can move around through my game. You can see my shadows there. I've got my different grasses, rocks, and trees, and all of that fun stuff. And you can see there is our build. And this is what we're going to use to show everybody in class next week. Right? Hopefully that's helpful. See you soon.